Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K edition of Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I'll put a link for that in the description. All right, The Gentleman is here on 4K, and for purposes of this review, I'll be reviewing the 4K edition only, and we're going to jump right into the picture quality and the audio. But before we do that, let's do a quick unboxing of the slipcover. We have The Gentleman here, slipcover edition in 4K. Pretty nice cover overall. And then we have the back side, the spine, and then interior, pretty much the same. And then just a little bit of artwork on the 4K disc. So, alright, that's enough of the unboxing. Let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Now, this being a Guy Ritchie film, it's going to have his style all over it. And while the film, I believe, was shot digitally, and it was rendered, I believe, at a 3.5K resolution, not quite 4K. But this is, as close as we're going to get here on this particular release. Since it was also shot digitally, and he likes to implement a style, there's going to be a bit of film grain in here, and I think it looks good. It looks appropriate. It actually, I noticed it in the theater when I saw this one, but even more so, of course, on the 4K edition. So, but that's once again more of his artistic style. That being said, I think the resolution benefits the film pretty greatly over the standard Blu Ray. HDR looks good. It is actually refines the clothing, the skin textures, just the general aesthetic of pretty much a lot of the scenes are greatly benefited utilizing HDR, and it looks fairly nice. Detail, I feel, is one of the strongest aspects here. Once again, going towards like skin textures and things like that, clothing, that's really like the big beneficiary here in that aspect. Now, color, it's a little bit more natural. The film itself is not overtly colorful, but it does have some colorful moments here sprinkled throughout. But once again, it's more or less a naturalistic kind of tone to it. But it gives you that little extra pop. So I feel that it's very strong in that respect. And also the fact that it is more or less closer to native 4K in the resolution, it helps that aspect. As far as black levels go, the film is also a little bit more on the dark side. So I think film, once again, director intent, it has more of a darker tone to it. But black levels are really nice and sharp. They're really deep, and they look pretty fantastic overall. No elevation, no macro blocking. It looks fantastic in that regard. I think black levels are really strong here, and I think you'll find that to be the case as well. As far as the audio mix goes, we are given a Dolby Atmos, overall, soundtrack. It sounds good. It sounds really good. Now, this being a Guy Ritchie film, there's going to be a lot of, action as far as, when those moments kick in. But it's not an overtly action-heavy kind of film. But when it does kick in, it makes great use of the Atmos, audio mix. Just the overall ambience of the film also keeps you engaged. The surrounds do their job fairly nicely. Mid-levels, surround, the rears, they sound great. They're very immersive, and they also carry a lot of bit of the action when it does kick in. The height speakers are also used discrete, have discrete moments sprinkled throughout the film. They're not overly heavy-handed, but they do kick in on occasion. It's really kind of a just sporadic use, but they are there if you are implementing overhead speakers. The LFE kicks in it's a very strong aspect when it does, those, minor little, like gunshots and that sort of thing really kind of give you that little extra weight to them, and it's very nice, and it's used very nicely also for like music, kind of give you that little thump as far as the LFE is concerned. Center channel now, this being, you know, a Guy Ritchie film, dialogue is going to be very important, but it could also be, you know, a little bit hard to understand somebody. It's just one of those things. You just got to kind of roll with it. But, you know, for the most part, I think it's pretty strong. But it does. Don't be surprised if you're going to miss a couple things coming to the center channel. And the front levels sound great, and they're fairly used fairly frequently throughout the film. You carry a lot of the action, and you know they're good. But yeah. Sounds great. Overall, very happy with the Atmos track. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my overall scores. I'm going to go ahead and give the picture quality of The Gentleman in 4K. I'm going to give that an A-. I think it's very strong. It's not quite native 4K if the specs are to be believed, but it's very strong, and it's very, you know, the clarity is there. The color is understated, but it's definitely present, and detail and black levels are very refined, and they look great. The Atmos mix, I'm going to go ahead and give that one a strong B+. I think it's a very overall strong Atmos. It's dialogue heavy kind of film, a little bit of action sprinkled throughout, but it doesn't have that overly, you know, aggressiveness to it. But it's strong. It is pretty nice, and I think you'll be very pleased with the results here on The Gentleman in 4K. So that is my review. Let me know in the comments below if you had a chance to check it out and what your thoughts were. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.